everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to Own Being Unique TV. I'm your host, Miranda McDaniels, and today we have the special honor and privilege of speaking with the owner and founder of Kiana Eboné Dance Ensemble. Meet Miss Kiana Eboné herself.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm excellent, and I'm so excited that you were able to join us today.
Thank
you for your yes.
Thank you.
You have quite a background in outreach in restoring the image of Black people. Whether as a dance instructor, streaming with Brilliance in Black TV, selling merch with mantras like I am Brilliance in Black, or creating activity books for youth in dance to help them see just how far dance can take them. You've displayed that deterring our people from the various negative images on mainstream outlets with dance and more positive forms of expression, such as community outreach, blesses them with exposure to a world of endless opportunity. So tell us, what is Brilliance in Black?
So, Brilliance in Black is an organization that's dedicated to promoting and supporting all the positive things in the Black community. Mm-hmm. Our focus is Black-owned businesses. So we host events, we post about all the different businesses and things that are going on. It's absolute love within our Black community.
Nice.
Yes.
Now, what opportunities do others gain communicating through this platform that you have created?
So, for one, we have events for vendors. Mm-hmm. So if you if you do have a Black-owned business, we have a whole Black Wall Street Festival, mm-hmm. which we'll be hosting in July.
Nice.
And then we'll be going to Dallas in September. Mm-hmm. So now we're traveling. So we have opportunities for vendors, but we also have a Black business directory. Mm-hmm. So even if you're not a vendor, we have a space for you. And the main thing really is just getting people to see that it is available.
Yeah.
When you know better, you do better. So a lot of times we don't even think to look for a Black-owned carpet cleaner.
Yeah.
But if you go on our site, you can find Black-owned carpet cleaner to hairstylists and everything.
That's good, and that's wonderful for up-and-coming entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
To know that, because I know, like with me, you know, when I started, I'm like, okay, well, how do I do this? Or where do I go for this? So the fact that you created something like that
mm-hmm.
for all of us, it's
mm-hmm.
like, I know exactly where I can go.
Yes,
you know,
that's
and
right.
I don't have to look too far.
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly where to go to tap into that. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, how can interested individuals tap into your platform?
Okay, so we're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
We have a website, brillianceinblack.com. Mm-hmm. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, everything. Everything that we do is free, mm-hmm. Minus events and things. Mm-hmm. But you can come and sign up for free. We also do different posts of businesses every day. So we have Monday through Sunday. We have Man Crush Monday, Sweet and Savory Saturday, mm-hmm. Tune In Tuesday, a little bit of everything. So it's very easy to tap in. Just hit us up and we got you.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good to know. I'm definitely hitting you up.
Come on.
What have you learned in your journey that helped you into the direction of uplifting others mm-hmm. and community outreach?
So the main thing I can say that I learned is that we need each other. We need each other. You know, there's so much separation, you know, colorism, man versus woman. It's so much separation, but the reality of it is there's balance because we need each other.
Yeah.
And so one thing I will say is that if we work together, we can all succeed.
I agree.
It's not enough to just see one person become a millionaire. Now that person needs to teach the others. Sankofa, reach back and bring with you.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing, and I saw it a lot with my mentors, mm-hmm. my parents. It's always been a part of my life.
Yeah, that's really good, because a lot of people do have that crab
mm-hmm.
in a barrel mentality, where it's like, if you are rising to the top, I don't want to see you make it,
right?
Because I'm not making it.
Right.
But the fact that you have created and you live by this stage of being
mm-hmm.
is an additive blessing for not only just yourself, with your community,
right.
to know that you're creating something that can help benefit the lives of other individuals. And it shows how selfless you are, that you have a heart to really give and pour out to make sure that this is a feature that is, welcome to all.
Right.
Black people.
Yes. At that part.
So how has your years of experience in dance, from teaching at Booker T. Washington Middle School to owning and operating Kiana Eboné Dance Ensemble, catapulted you into this new experience exploring Black dance in your new children's activity book?
Okay. So for me, growing up, it was very important. My teachers taught me that it was very important to know who came before us. So we went to dance class, but dance class was not just dancing. We had notebooks with notes in it.
Yeah.
We went to other people's dance classes. We had guests come in for master classes. So I always grew up knowing of the others that came before me.
Yeah.
And I see now that that's not really the case. And I teach in a lot of different places, and I see that children they just know what's on TV or what's on the internet. They don't know the history. And when you know where you came from, you'll know where you're going.
Absolutely.
Or where you can go. So it was really important for me to make this children's book because I needed my children in the future to know, where they came from and where they can go. And even seeing somebody like Alvin Ailey, who had a dance company, but that's not all he did.
Right.
And when you look into it, that's how all dances are. They do so much more than dance, and they may learn dance all through their life, and then they decide to be a doctor.
Yeah.
But they use the skills that they learned as a dance student to get them there. Now I work in Baltimore City Public Schools, and a lot of the children, it's just a resource class. They don't really want to dance. So I try to incorporate, look, this is what they did. They were a dancer all their life, and they went and did this.
Right.
So you can do it too.
Yeah.
So it was just really important that they see where they can go.
Yeah, and that's good that you make it relatable for them, because you could be spitting this information at them because of everything that you know. But in fact, you're like, no, I hear you. It's a heart-to-heart dynamic. It's a heart-to-heart conversation.
Yes.
So I hear exactly where you are, and I understand that, you may not want to learn these things or do these things, but let me tell you the importance why you should tap in.
Yes, and I didn't understand that always. I had to learn that because I'm like, you're in dance class, just dance, come on. But I had to meet them where they are, and I recognize my children, they love to see people that came from places like they come from, people that have experienced what they've experienced. They love to see that, and that makes them want to learn more.
Yeah.
In school, you are just learning what you're supposed to learn, which that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But, when you relate it to them, then they remember. So even math, we're in dance class, and they're like, why we got to count? And I'm like, watch, it's going to help you. And then they come back like, Miss Mercer, you know how we did the triangle? We did that in geometry. And I'm like, I tried to tell you, but it's very important to relate it to where they are.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Now, with the teaching organizations that you've been a part of, how have they changed your outlook on engaging young learners?
Well, kind of the same thing that I was just talking about, because I get to experience so many different types of children in different communities, and it has become this thing where even if my students in Baltimore County don't get to go to Baltimore City, or my city students don't get to go to the county, I bring them together in a way that even if they don't physically come together, they're learning about the others.
Ooh, that's good.
And that is very, very important, because you have a lot of children who don't get outside of their bubble, of their community.
Yeah.
So that, again, that was something that I had to learn to do. Because I came from just a dance class in a dance school, whereas you want to be here. And then switching it up for students who may not want to be, but they have to be. And that became a big thing.
That's good. And then you're also tapping back into what you stated, that community aspect. That we need one another. So you're showing them that they actually need one another. Now, how do you help to build their level of esteem as you're working with them?
I love glows. We call them glows. So, yes, pointed foot. Like, that's naturally how I am anyway.
Yeah.
And my kids, they love that. Okay. They're like, oh, you saw her pointed foot? And I always get them to watch other students and other companies perform, even if it's just on a laptop. You know, there's a lot of it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And so getting them to watch that and point out the things that they know, and then when they get to get up and do it, they like, you see my passe? You saw that? My knee was to the side, you know. But really just showing them what they can do and giving them the encouragement as they do it.
That's good, because sometimes kids, they sometimes or oftentimes have a fear of doing something that may be unfamiliar to them.
Yeah.
And you know, dance in general is like awkward for your body, especially if you were not somebody who was trained in it.
Right.
So for you to be in these schooling environments and you're teaching these different styles of dance, like, that's not easy for, you know, your regular everyday kid that's just used to going to class to go in and do a tandu, a passe, and all of these things.
Yeah.
So the fact that this is, you're implementing these confident boosters within them to show them, like, you can do this.
Right.
Like, I don't care if your leg don't leave that floor.
Right. Just make sure it's straight. That's it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, before I let you go, there's one more thing that I want to, well, a couple more things, but how can parents who are interested in tapping into what you're doing, how can they, actually, not how can parents, do you offer any supports for the parents of the kid? Like, and if so, what type of supports do you offer?
Gotta think about that. Cricket.
And I know the dynamic might be a little bit more challenging because of you being in the school environment. And I know, like, in some inner city schools, sometimes it's hard to even get a hold of the parents because they're, like, you know, working all day.
Right.
And they're not able to pick up the phone or for whatever reason. So it may be hard, but, like, do you do anything where the parents know that, you know, they're really learning something and doing something when they're with you?
Right. So we have performances in school and out of school. We also go to performances that parents can come and be a chaperone. And I know really they just want to come to the show.
Right.
But we do performances every quarter. And the turnouts have been wonderful.
Amazing.
Wonderful. Like, you don't see that a lot.
Yeah.
And so it's really awesome to see. And I'm connected with them on social media because that's the thing.
Yeah.
So I have like a dance social media, and I'll post their children performing and tag them, and they love that.
Nice.
They love to see that. So my relationship with my students and my parents is really good. Like, we're friends. I have a social media page that's strictly for my dancers, Kiana Eboné Dance on Instagram. And that's where they get to see their children perform, and I'll tag them and interact with them. And if they can't come to shows, I always post on their social media as well.
Okay. So my last question. I don't want you to go, but unfortunately you have a life here, right? So how can we, or I know you talked about, you know, your platform, how we can tap into that, but everything that has to do with Miss Kiana, how can we be a part of that?
Okay.
You can let our audience
You can find me at Kiana Eboné, KianaEbone, dance.com, and from there you can get to brillianceandblack.com. You can get to all my social media. Absolutely everything is there.
Well, you heard it here, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in to Own Being Unique TV, where we have the opportunity of highlighting individuals who take ownership of who they are by operating in their uniqueness. Until next time.